This Council resumes the second reading debate on the stamp duty legislation Miscellaneous Amendments Bill 2024. Mr. Rob Chan. Deputy President, I speak in support of the stamp duty legislation Miscellaneous Amendments Bill 2024. The bill waives the stamp duty payable on the transfer of shares or units of real estate investment trust REIT and on transactions and also there are amendments in relation to uncertificated securities arrangement. Now, waiving the stamp duty will mean foregone revenue of about $2 billion each year, but then the measures will be effective in lowering the transaction costs of REITs shares and units that will help to improve the liquidity of the market, and it will also make REITs market more competitive. Therefore, it promotes the long-term development of REITs. Now, there are four measures. China Securities Regulatory Commission has announced four measures to benefit the stock market. One is to include REITs in the Stock Connect scheme. So this measure to waive the stamp duty ties in with the measure of the CSRC. There will be a synergy effect, and it will be effective in promoting the liquidity and appeal of the REITs of REIT funds. That will broaden the investor base, and then it will enhance Hong Kong's position as a major asset management center in Asia. Now, since the first REIT fund launched some years ago, the market has been expanding. Now the total value is about $146 billion. That's an increase of some 5.5 times compared to 2005. As at the third quarter of 2024, the REITs market is ranked fourth in the Asia-Pacific region. And there are 11 REITs funds listed in Hong Kong. And transactions amounted to some $300 million. So waiving the stamp duty on REITs transaction means that more REIT funds will join the market that will enrich the investment portfolio, and then issuers may also expand further their portfolio to cover different properties. That brings Hong Kong in line with other international markets. Major markets such as the US, Japan market or Singaporean market, already there's no need to pay stamp duty for REIT transactions. So waiving the stamp duty will improve Hong Kong's international competitiveness. That's why we should support it. The other is to waive the stamp duty for transactions amounting to dropping business for options market makers. Now, transactions in the options market has gone up some 4 to 10%. That means there is a demand for more such transactions. So waiving the stamp duty will again promote the liquidity of the options market. It will lower the cost of options market makers. Again, this arrangement will bring Hong Kong in line with that of other markets. The third amendment measure proposed in the bill is to improve the stamp duty collection arrangement under the uncertificated securities market regime. The amendment bill provides for the new electronic stamping arrangement. So with this arrangement, investors may use the electronic platform of the Inland Revenue Department to complete the electronic stamping arrangement. That's why I am all in support of the bill. I hope the three measures will be implemented as soon as possible that will enhance the efficiency, liquidity, and competitiveness of our market. Thank you. Mr. Robert Lee. Thank you, Deputy President. I support the stamp duty legislation Miscellaneous Amendments Bill 2024. First, there will be waiving of stamp duty payable on REITs, a transfer of REIT shares or units, and also on transactions amounting to jobbing business of options market makers. And then the bill also provides for a revised stamp duty collection arrangement upon the implementation of the uncertificated securities market USM regime. I'd like to speak on 3 points. First, expanding stamp duty waiver to new counter options market, and that covers financial derivatives. Now, first, expanding stamp duty waiver to dual counter transactions. Now, right now, the stamp duty rate is 0.1% on both buyers and sellers for the sale and purchase of REIT shares or units. But then in other international markets such as the mainland, Japan, Singapore, the United States, there is no need to pay such stamp duty. So we want to enhance the competitiveness of Hong Kong. That's why I support the proposal to waive the stamp duty for REIT transactions. And then in April this year, the China Securities Regulation Commission, CSRC, announced measures to benefit our market that will help to broaden the investor base. So more international investors and pension funds will help to promote the development of the REITs market in Hong Kong. I would suggest that the government lower the stamp duty for dual counter transactions, and there should be more RMB denominated counters. Now there are just 24 Hong Kong stocks with RMB counters. And in November this year, the daily transaction amount was just 72 million yuan. So, and then the stamp duty involved was just about $37 million, and so was just a small amount. So if the stamp duty is waived or lowered, it's not a substantial amount, but it will promote the use of renminbi as an international investment currency. And then second point is that for options market makers, under the current ordinance, there is need to make a contract note for each transaction, and then there's a stamp duty of $5 for the stamping of each contract note. This is the fixed cost for options market makers. I support waiving the stamp duty to lower the transaction cost of options market makers. That will bring Hong Kong in line with practice in other markets that will enhance the efficiency of the options market. Some in the sector suggested that the government could consider expanding the scope of waiver to cover all financial or all derivative products, including warrants, and that will lower the cost of option markets makers, and then more makers will join the market that will promote the liquidity of the market. Now, right now there is no need to pay stamp duty for some of the derivatives for options and so on, for ETFs and options. In the first 11 months this year, the daily transaction was about 720,000 contracts. So that's an increase of 90% compared to the year before. And the daily transaction amount was about $15.8 billion. That's an increase of 35% compared to the previous year. So therefore, if we further expand the scope of waiver, that will promote transactions of the reference products, because the figures just bore that out. And third point about the USM regime. If we promote a paperless market, that's actually one of the measures in consolidating our position as an international financial market. It will enhance the efficiency of the market. It will also offer further protection to investors, and it also enhances transparency. So approved securities register that will be allowed to use the electronic platform for stamping and the payment of stamp duty. I support this measure. Some in the sector suggested that for returns could also be made electronically. That will streamline the whole process. Now there's need to submit physical returns either by mail or in person, and that is actually rather cumbersome. So electronic declaration will substantially improve the efficiency of filing returns. It will also substantially lower the administrative costs of the relevant parties. That's in line with the concept of the policy intent of USM. So I speak in support of the bill.
Mr. Kwok-Wai-Keun. Thank you, Deputy President. Stamp Duty Legislation Miscellaneous Amendments Bill 2024. This bill is to give effect to the proposal of the 2024-25 budget delivered by the Financial Secretary. It is proposed that the stamp duty payable on the transactions and transfer of shares of units of REITs and the transactions and dealings specified in the stamp duty jobbing business options market maker regulations, and amend the stamp duty collection arrangement involving approved securities registers under the uncertificated securities market regime. The FTU supports the proposal, but I hope to relay the views of the sector. REITs is a collective investment scheme constituted as a trust that invests in real estate to provide returns derived from recurrent rental income arising from real estates to investors. Investors can gain investment exposure to large-scale income-generating real estate in a more cost-effective manner through REITs. According to the Legislative Council paper, it is said that in 2005, we had the first REIT. As at the end of September 2024, our REIT market ranked 4th in the size in the Asia-Pacific region, with a market capitalization of close to $146 billion. So in some 20 years, there was a growth of 5.6 times. And the daily turnover of REIT amount to $372 million. The speed of growth is quite substantial and impressive. And it is said that in 2022, the FPFA has expanded the scope of investments for some trustees, and trustees can now invest in REITs. As an employee, they are part of the MPF scheme. If they are allowed to invest in REIT, they want to obtain a stable return and income. If the stamp duty can be waived, then the return can be increased. That is great for our employees. But according to the Union of the Securities Sector, they said that first, prior to the proposal, the sector has not been consulted. This is their view. Second, our union is concerned about the stamp duty waiver and its impact on the fairness of the securities market among different investment products. While they should be treated fairly, if we are to waive the stamp duty payable on transactions of shares in units of REIT, then our market may become unfair. When an investor considers the place where they invest in, they will consider the risk and the price. But as there is a stamp duty waiver of transfer of REITs units, then investors would consider REITs a product having lower risk and lower cost. This is the views of the union. I hope that the administration will consider it and give a response. Deputy President, regarding the other two proposals on the stamp duty waiver for options market makers and the uncertificated securities market regime adjustment, we support them because the relevant arrangement can enhance the market efficiency and it is more convenient for our investors. Hopefully, by that we can attract more international investors and capital to Hong Kong. So submit, Mr. Yim Kong. Thank you, Deputy President. I support the stamp duty legislation Miscellaneous Amendments Bill 2024. Our REIT market is quite mature. Our first REIT was rolled out in 2005. That is only 3 to 4 years slower than Singapore and Japan. And our market capitalization of REIT exceeded that of Singapore and was second only to Japan. However, over the past decade, the status of Hong Kong REIT market continued to drop. According to a report, the market capitalization of Hong Kong REIT market went from 20% of the Asian market to only 8% today. As said, the end of 2023, the number of REITs and our market capitalization are only 28% of that of Singapore and 19% of that of Japan REIT market. Hong Kong as an international financial center with the support of our motherland, we are in a position to develop our REIT market. In April this year, the CSRC rolled out a framework to include REIT into the Stock Connect. This is conducive to the development of a REIT market. This amendment is to waive the stamp duty for transfer of shares or units of REITs. Although some $400 million were foregone from the government revenue, this lowered the cost of transactions for REITs and increased liquidity of the market. And this is in line with the trends and standards of other places such as the US, Singapore, Japan, and our country. And this is conducive to the long-term development of a REIT market, and it will consolidate our position as an international financial center. So I suggest that the government roll out more measures to develop REIT market and attract more REITs to be listed in Hong Kong and increase types of products, enhance liquidity, and step on monitoring and regulation of the market. And lower the fees for REIT operators. I look forward to working with the sector so that we can develop ourselves into a REIT market.
Does any other member wish to speak? If not, I now call upon the Secretary for Financial Services and the Treasurer to reply. Then the debate will come to a close. Secretary. Deputy President, I thank members who spoke in support of the bill. The bill seeks to implement the policies proposed in the 2024-25 budget to waive the stamp duty payable on the transfer of shares or units of real estate investment trust, REIT, and on transactions amounting to jobbing business of option market makers. The bill also provides for a revised stamp duty collection arrangement upon the implementation of the uncertificated securities market USM regime in Hong Kong. The robust development of the securities market is crucial to cementing Hong Kong's status as an international financial center, maintaining our international competitive edge, and promoting the development of our financial services. We have been implementing various measures to expand the REIT market, including relaxing the investment restrictions on REITs, providing funding support for REITs listed in Hong Kong to pay eligible expenses charged by Hong Kong-based professional service providers, etc., to solidify our position as a regional REIT hub. On a different note, under the Options Market Makers program under the Hong Kong Exchange and Clearing Limited Hong Kong X, market makers ensure the availability of bid-ask quotations for options contracts in the market. This helps maintain market continuity and liquidity. At the same time, this also helps form the market prices of options contracts for investors to make investment decisions and manage risks. With continuous product development in the Hong Kong securities market in recent years and increasing diversification of investment strategies, the trading volume of options has increased markedly. In the first 11 months, the average turnover increased by 7% and 19% respectively. There is also a greater demand for services provided by options market makers. To promote the development of the financial market, we propose to waive the stamp duty payable on the transfer of REIT shares or units and the jobbing business of options market makers. This measure will provide facilitation to investors. We believe this will help further enhance the efficiency and liquidity of the Hong Kong REIT market and the derivatives market, which in turn supports the continuous development of the relevant products. Meanwhile, with a view to enhancing the efficiency of the local market, protection for investors and transparency, the government and regulators have all along strived to implement the USM regime in Hong Kong. This will remove the transfer arrangements of a paper-based securities regime whereby investors can hold and transfer the legal title to their securities in a digitized environment. On the basis of the principal framework prescribed under the Securities and Futures Companies Legislation Amendment Ordinance 2021, the bill will introduce simpler and more efficient stamp duty collection processes to enable ASRs to leverage on the existing electronic stamping arrangements under Part 2A of the Stamp Duty Ordinance, that is, stamping by way of stamp certificates. Under the amended procedures, upon receipt of the transfer instruction from an investor, the relevant ASR will guide the investor to the electronic platform of the stamp office to complete stamping and stamp duty payment to facilitate the process. Deputy President, in order to enhance the liquidity and competitiveness of the stock market, we must continue to implement concrete enhancement measures on various fronts, such as listing regime, market structure, trading mechanism, and so on. In fact, in view of the recommendations made by the Task Force on Enhancing Stock Market Liquidity, together with regulators in Hong Kong X, we will implement a number of measures, including reforming GEM for small and medium enterprises (SMEs), enhancing the listing regime for specialist technology companies, launching the arrangements for maintaining securities market trading under severe weather, and expanding the scope of mutual access of exchange-traded funds between mainland and Hong Kong. We have also put in place a more certain timetable for the vetting of listing applications and have conducted consultation on further improving corporate governance of listed companies, expanding the paperless listing regime, and so on. I thank members for their views. The FSTB will continue to listen to members, closely monitor the changes in needs of overseas and local markets, work on medium to long-term directions to optimize the stock market in order to further enhance the competitiveness of the market, promote its sustainable development, as well as enhancing and solidifying our status as an international financial center. I urge members to support the passage of the bill in order to implement the relevant arrangements such as the stamp duty waiver and the jobbing business stamp duty in Hong Kong, in order to give effect to the USM regime in Hong Kong. I so submit. Thank you, President.
I now propose the question to you that the Stamp Duty Legislation Miscellaneous Amendments Bill 2024 be read the second time. Will those in favour please raise their hands? Those against please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of the members present. I declare the motion passed. Stamp Duty Legislation Miscellaneous Amendments Bill 2024. This council now becomes Committee of the Whole Council to consider the Stamp Duty Legislation Miscellaneous Amendments Bill 2024. I now propose the question to you that the following clauses stand part of the bill. Clauses 1 to 15.